Sustainability. It's arguably one of the most important issues of our day. One of the most debated conversations in the energy sector is specifically around renewable energy as it dominates news and politics. Global problems have us all feeling pain at the gas pump and remind us regularly of the uncertainty of the future. Hi, I'm Laura Cardona, and I'm a solutions architect in analytics at AWS. Recently, I had the opportunity to see firsthand and get hands-on with some data-driven solutions with fellow solutions architect and analytics technical field community member, Hussam Hamad. I was able to see how the energy sector at AWS, in particular renewables, is modernizing, unifying data, and driving innovation. Despite the global setbacks we read about with sustainability, you will be encouraged by the innovation happening here at AWS with renewables. Let's dive right in. Before I talk about all the sustainability goodness coming from customers running on AWS, let me first talk about what AWS is doing as a cloud platform. AWS has pledged to be a leader in sustainability and is on a path to power our own operations with 100% renewable energy by 2025. At AWS, sustainability is not a trendy soundbite, and you can trust us as your cloud provider to walk the walk right alongside your company as it seeks to become more sustainable. Now, let's talk about how AWS is empowering companies and organizations in the energy sector, particularly renewables. Spoiler alert, it's all about becoming data-driven. Let me give you a few customer examples of how the breadth and depth of the AWS services architected together provide companies everything they need to modernize, unify, and innovate to achieve their technical and business goals. The first reference I want to share with you is GPSC. GPSC is a flagship provider of sustainable energy in Thailand. They were able to modernize on the AWS cloud by migrating an acquisition called Glow Energy. The migration has allowed them to pursue operational excellence and future innovation. And it lowered their operating costs by 20 to 25%. The next one I want to share with you is GE Renewable Energy. GE Renewable Energy was experiencing a growing demand for carbon-free electricity. They chose to modernize the digital services platform on AWS that collects, consumes, and analyzes asset data. This is so neat. Their chief architect of digital engineering said, AWS had all the building blocks that we needed to solve the challenge we were facing. What's not to love about that quote? It reminds me of what Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said when talking about the breadth and depth of our services. He said, having everything is everything. It sure was everything that GE Renewables needed, and it can be for your company too. Another reference I want to share with you is ENGIE. ENGIE modernized and built a predictive maintenance platform on AWS with nearly 10,000 pieces of connected equipment, each with dozens of models. From this modernization, they've been able to scale very quickly. They now use their predictive maintenance platform to solve their business and technical challenges of anticipating breakdowns and malfunctions of equipment. For this final customer example, let me go into the AWS console and show you how our analytics services can work together to produce some of the business results you've been hearing about. This demo portion was recently presented to a renewable energy company to address their business challenges of wind turbine maintenance and quick repair, also optimization of repair crew tracking and scheduling. The company also had a technical challenge of how to do data sharing within the organization to create actionable dashboards. Going back to the console. So in this company use case, we're getting sensor data in near real time from wind turbines. The company has to ensure quick turbine repair and to be able to predict that a turbine might be in need of repair soon. So running anomaly detection on this data will help the company to do just that. And as you can see, I do have an anomaly detected. So for example, very high frequency data of the vibrations on the wind turbine can indicate high winds or that a turbine stem has already broken. The company may decide to investigate this further. You can set up anomaly detection, click Get Started, and you can choose combinations to be analyzed, scheduling options, and select top contributors. AWS is continually democratizing the skill so that users do not have to know how to code in order to get these insights. So going back to our frequency analysis, you can also note that these visualization capabilities include forecasting with options such as selecting useful or not useful. And this is really neat because when you select one of these feedback options, it's actually training the ML model on the back end. So our services have built-in easy ways for the ML model to continue learning, which ensures you receive a more accurate forecast in the future. So far, we've been able to solve for the business challenge of monitoring turbine maintenance with just the telemetry data. But for the other business challenge of scheduling turbine maintenance with repair crews and the technical challenge of sharing the data, we're going to need multiple points of data. And one way we solve for that at AWS is with a data lake architecture. So let me show you a few other AWS services that can bring the data to us from a data lake architecture. We have a service for serverless data integration. And in that service, we have a data catalog. And this is a metadata catalog that's been created by a feature we have here called a crawler. And a crawler will discover the schema of the data sitting in the data lake, for example. And I am able to see the table schemas. For example, I have my work crew location table. That is the data that tracks the longitude and latitude of the wind turbine repair crew. We can bring in more static data sets about vendors, parts inventory. We can bring it in on a schedule through our ETL tool, in conjunction with our service that gives us centralized control and governance of our data lake. And in using our service that when we can apply centralized governance and control to our data lake, we're able to unify our data and easily put it to work. So we can do granular data filters. And this lets us decide what tables, columns, and even rows we want to combine with other data sets for native visualization. Once we get this data from the data lake, we have an ad hoc querying service that's out of the box integrated with our ETL tool and BI tool that lets us explore our data. For example, you can see the same data that we just saw in the data catalog, and you can run ad hoc queries on it. From here, this service is out of the box integrated with our BI tool. You can choose from all these native integrations. The ad hoc query service that you just saw is called Athena, and you would just name your data source and click a few other configurations, and you would seamlessly be able to visualize your data. So once we get the right data sets combined, so you see we were able to bring in our wind turbine repair crew location data, our geospatial data, and our vendor list. Now we are able to solve for calculating repair time and also best schedule the repair crew with combining the location tracking data. So by unifying our data from the data lake and building innovative dashboards with AI ML insights, we've been able to solve for the company's business and technical challenges. So to wrap up, you've seen from the renewables industry how companies are able to make data-driven decisions. But the even better news is your company can get the same data-driven success no matter the industry, size, current architecture you have, or where you are in your modern data strategy. In fact, you don't even need a modern data strategy to get started. We can help you do that. AWS has some awesome programs just for this purpose. We have data labs, acceleration labs, and immersion days, just to name a few, all designed to ideate, mobilize, and train and build whatever needed to democratize your data in the best way possible. We want your company to experience the power of AWS for data with modernizing, unifying, and innovating on AWS. Don't hesitate to contact us today to get started. Thank you.